Andre, I've got some breaking news.
What's
Why
that?
is the heavy-duty Ranger testing in Colorado?
That's a really great question. And you went prototype hunting and you actually saw one here in Colorado. Should we see the video?
Yeah, let's look at the video. I was there just this morning at our usual hunt where a lot of the prototypes park, and I saw these two trucks. Of course, one of them is a pretty much box standard Ranger.
Yeah.
But the one next to it
Is not. It's the new 2026 Ford Ranger Super Duty. That its official name, and it's actually available for sale in Australia as we speak.
Now, this is a badass truck. And the question I'm asking myself, and I think the people out there are asking themselves, why would you be testing this here in Colorado? Is there a possibility that it might be coming to a Ford dealer near you?
Okay, so I see a lot of positive here. So if Ford did sell it, I think it would be quite popular. But I also see some negative. I think we should discuss both of those. And you know what? We can configure a couple of these trucks because they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, let's do that. And we can talk about kind of the specifications, what you can get. So let's jump to the Ford Australia website.
Okay.
And let's see how much these bad boys cost. So there are, I guess, 3 versions of it?
Yeah, so I think Australian people get the best pickup truck versions. I mean, the grass is always greener somewhere else, right? So in Australia, they have a 2-door work truck version of this truck. They have an extended cab, they call it Super Cab, and they have a double cab, basically a crew cab version of this truck. But this is a truck that's lifted up. It has solid, really beefy axles with 8 lugs. It has dual lockers, and look at all the choices you can have.
So which one should we configure?
Let's configure the middle one because that's the one you saw.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So that's, I think, is maybe the most interesting one because, Roman, the cab, okay, so it does have the little tiny seats behind the front seats, right? That are probably useless, but it allows for a longer bed. So if you were to use it as an overlander, as kind of a working vehicle, or maybe just your camping rig, really capable off-roader, you want the longer bed, right?
Now, the Australians have a long and illustrious reputation of off-roading. Obviously, the country is
really off-roady.
Really off-roady. That's a good way of putting it. Very, very empty for the most part. It's about the size of the continental U.S. I think Australia has about 30 million people who most of them live on the coast.
Exactly, and they have the outback. They have really rugged terrain.
And then they have, of course, jungle up in Darwin, and so they have mud, and then they have sand, and then they have Tasmania, where you've got more, mountainous terrain, and so they have it all there. And this truck obviously represents what Australians want as a Super Duty off-roader. But what's interesting about it is it's not an American-sized heavy duty or Super Duty. It's a mid-sized Super Duty,
Exactly.
which in itself I think is pretty unique.
Well, see, in Australia and other markets like Thailand and other Asian markets, Ford actually doesn't sell officially like the Super Duty, like an F-250 or an F-350, or even some F-150s. What happens actually, they send some F-150s down there, and there's other companies that convert them from left-hand drive to right-hand drive, right? And then they sell them. But this is a mid-sized truck which will fit in most garages, even here. And you could select several different colors. How about hearing aid beige?
No, I don't go hearing a beige. That color is... Oh, that's
No,
not bad.
okay, it's actually
All right.
sandy.
All right, I like that. Okay, and let's keep going.
Sorry, it's called seismic tan.
Let's keep going.
I'm really sorry.
Let's keep going down.
Yes.
So you can get a tray, of course.
So different bed finishes, right?
Yeah.
Galvanized steel, which is, that tough steel that doesn't rust very easily. Matte black, body color. What happens if you select body color?
Yeah, I think it would look...
Whoa,
how
dude,
cool.
that's
Cool,
sweet.
yeah. And then
What about a black bed?
Yeah, let's see what that looks like.
Sweet. That's even cooler, isn't it?
I like the body color. I'm more of a body color guy.
Cole, can you select some of the images, or is this the only angle that we could see?
Click through it. Let's see what it looks like.
Oh,
there we go.
yes. And there's an interior shot.
So it's very similar to our Ranger, interior-wise.
Yeah, the interior, and also the headlamps, the grille, the hood, the doors, the cab. Those are basic Ranger components.
Let's add some rock sliders.
Of course. I'm surprised that it doesn't already have rock sliders.
Oh, it's got a dual battery as well.
Yes, must. For overlanding,
yeah.
We must do dual batteries.
And we will not remove the snorkel because it's too cool. The rear seat is a no-cost option.
Well, we can remove it.
at a no cost.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why don't we remove it? I mean, nobody could sit there anyway.
That way Blaze can fit back there more
Exactly.
comfortably. Yeah.
Exactly. You can bring your dog. So,
And let's do the wheel center cap rack as well. They'll pop the wheels a little bit.
okay.
I guess
So-
not.
Well, it's 150 Australian dollars.
Yeah.
So in the end, it's only $107,891.
And if we convert that to US,
Let's convert it.
all right,
So 108. Let's call it 108,000. How about that? 108,000 even. So that would be $72,000 US.
I'd pay that.
You know what else is $72,000 US?
What is that?
A new GMC Canyon 84X AEV edition with dual lockers and
And you
35s.
don't have that bed tray.
You don't have a bed tray.
So let me ask you some other questions. Do we know what powers this vehicle in Australia?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
So if we can go back to that configurator. So currently it's available only with a 3-liter, like it says right there, V6 turbo diesel. So I looked up the specs on this guy, and he doesn't have a lot of horsepower, about 210-ish horsepower, but he does have a lot of torque, about 426 pound-feet of torque. But we recently had a Ranger Raptor in our fleet, in our long-term fleet, and why couldn't they put that 3-liter twin-turbo gasoline V6 into this?
I think a better option might be the 2.7 EcoBoost.
A smaller
Yeah,
EcoBoost?
a little bit smaller.
Make it a little bit more affordable, maybe?
Yeah, can you go back? Let's look at this one compared to the one that I just caught in the mountains. Let's let's go back to the video and let's see what that looks like. So this is a different bumper, obviously.
And also kind of a grill guard, right?
A grill guard. It's got lights that the other one didn't have. It's got
And a winch.
and a winch, and it's got the snorkel. So this one looks like it's been done up kind of to the next level. It does have, I don't know if those are rock sliders. Those look like steps to me.
Those look like steps, yes.
And I don't know what's under the hood. I don't know if it's a diesel or if it's a gas.
You didn't hear it run?
It was not. It was just parked.
Okay.
Can you back to the start of it? Let's see if we can look at the exhaust. Can you see
It's
the
a little
exhaust?
hard to see
Yeah,
because
it's hard to
it's
see.
kind of hidden under there.
You can't see it. Yeah.
But it does have Michigan plates, so this is definitely Ford. I mean, there's no question who this belongs to because it has camouflage on it. It has. So here's the thing: we need to talk about payload and towing.
Yeah, let's
because
talk about that.
these numbers are humongous for Australia. So this truck has about almost 2,000 kilograms of payload, which is 4,400 pounds.
of payload.
This is like an F-350 type of payload.
The suspension in that thing must be incredible.
Yes, and that's partially because they don't get Super Duty's other trucks right there. And also towing is about 10,000 pounds.
Wow.
So this bad boy can pull a heavy trailer and carry a lot of payload.
So I guess the question that Ford would be asking themselves is, would it cannibalize sales of the
Exactly.
Super Duty
Exactly.
or the F-150?
Exactly, which it could.
It could, yeah.
It could.
But you know, they were asking that question themselves when they did away with the Ranger.
Exactly.
And they gave the mid-size segment completely over to Toyota.
Yeah,
basically.
and Toyota ran away with
And
it.
they ran away with it. They were selling like 250,000 Tacomas every year. And then finally, like Ford smartened up and said, you know, maybe we're cannibalizing nobody's sales except for our own in terms of just selling these things. I think it's one of the coolest trucks I've seen in a long time because I love when big things or big capability comes in small packages. And this is what you have right here.
Exactly, because like I was saying, you could park it in any garage.
Yes.
You know, most, my house has a 19-foot length of the garage, and this would fit in there. And amazing capability. You know, if it comes, I imagine they could lower the payload, make it a little softer suspension because they don't need to have 4,400 pounds of payload because there are other trucks that can do
if a
that.
Maverick has 1,400 pounds, then this could certainly have 4,000 pounds. The other thing I like is that bed tray. I know we're used to typical American beds,
Yeah.
but as you know, a couple of years ago now, we bought the little Honda K truck Acti, and it's got the little drop sides.
Yeah.
They're really useful, and you
Yeah.
can see it there. That has that.
Well, they drop down.
They
yeah.
drop down.
Yeah.
And so if you want to load a pallet into it from the side, it's a lot easier. You don't have to reach over the side of the bed to go, get stuff. You can actually use this as a platform to build a camper or put a camper on it. It's just, in a lot of ways, a much more useful bed configuration than the typical. I think it's also more expensive because it looks like there's a lot more that has to go into it.
Yeah, but also, I mean, you could put a little camper back there.
Yeah.
And go camping.
And it's got a built-in headache rack.
Yeah.
So whatever's back there is not going to come flying into the cab.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the wheels and tires. Those look very utilitarian. I think
Those look like they're test vehicle wheels and tires.
I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. If it does come, let's say in about a few months, maybe a year, this actually comes here on sale, I think it would be an addition to the lineup. I don't think it'll eat away into F-150 sales that much because this is kind of a specialized off-road ready vehicle, like a Bronco would be, right? This is kind of like that specialized vehicle.
Well,
for them.
instead of building a Bronco pickup, bring this in. I think this would do better than because a Bronco pickup really would cannibalize Ranger sales. But this certainly would be, like you said, a well-received addition to the Ranger lineup. Now, the one thing that I would worry about is just how much Ford can sell it for. Because obviously we did this conversion where we took the Australian price.
Well, it has to be built here.
Is the current one built in Australia? Do you know?
They have several plants around the world that build the Ranger now, but the plant that builds our Rangers is in Michigan. So, that also builds the Bronco. So there's limited capacity for this, but hopefully maybe Ford can expand that factory, maybe add another shift or something. I mean, I'm not a factory expert, but they would have to build it here.
And the other thing I was wondering about, and I can't tell because when I took it, I was actually in a very low car, but is that a right-hand drive or is it left-hand drive? I'm kind of trying to see.
It's hard to see.
It's hard to see.
But the other trucks, the white Ranger next to it, I actually also saw those.
It said left-hand drive.
Yeah.
Let's see what you saw. Why don't you go to that video?
Really quickly.
So you caught these as well.
Yeah, so this is me. We were doing an eye gauntlet, and I saw these manufactured license plate pickup trucks, and they looked interesting to me because they don't look like the ones we're getting here. And look, this is left-hand drive.
And it says so on the tailgate. It says this is a left-hand drive.
Yeah.
So is that for like the Aussie engineers to remind them that
Probably.
to walk around the other side of the truck?
Probably. Probably
It's got the
so.
same. It's got the same fascia as the Super Duty.
Yeah, and the same fascia as an American Ranger as well. It's just that bed, it says U.S. fuel. So it says don't put diesel in this, probably. So there are two of these trucks with hitches and kind of their wiring right there.
I guess the thing I'm wondering, Andre, is would Ford be testing it here for Australia or would they be testing it here because they're thinking about bringing it here? That's the $1,000,000 question.
Well, and we don't know the real answer.
We don't know. Ford, can you call me? But I'll tell you one thing. I would rather see that truck than the Mustang GTD.
Really?
Yes, I would. I think they would make more money, Jim Farley, and I know you love competing with Porsche, but I think they would make more money and sell more trucks if they actually brought that Super Duty Ranger in instead of selling $400,000 Mustangs. That to me seems a little out of touch with what the Mustang is.
Well, yeah,
I said it, Andre. I said it.
That's your opinion, and
it's my opinion.
That's fine. And for a price of one GTD Mustang, you could probably purchase about 5
Super Duty
Rangers. Yes.
What would you call it?
What?
Would you just call it a Super Duty Ranger, or would you
that
give it?
That might be confusing.
Would you give it? It would be confusing. You'd have to come up with a different name for it.
Ranger HD.
Ranger HD.
Why not?
Because it's heavy. They don't like the heavy. They don't like the HD. They like the Super Duty.
I know.
Ford has to have their own version.
That's why I'm not a marketing guy.
The Super Tremor.
Super Ranger?
Super Ranger. Tremor XL?
Power Ranger. No, that's taken.
I think that's been used, yeah. All right, guys.
Okay.
Well, let us know in the comments below if you think Ford would take my money or if you think that this is a vehicle that just wouldn't do very well here because we like big old American pick-em-up trucks and we don't want any of that Aussie stuff here. I always think the choice is good.
Yeah.
And especially, look, it would be great if they could put the diesel into it, but that's not going to fly.
No, I don't think.
Maybe they could put GM's 3-liter into it.
No, they would not work together.
Across the street?
They would not work together.
You think Jim wouldn't call Mary and say, hey, Mary
Can
Barra,
I use your Duramax?
Can I use your Duramax?
No, I don't think that's happening.
Anyway, like I said, let us know in the comments below if you think this is one of the most badass trucks. That's a very leading question because I think so. But maybe give us some more clear-eyed critique of it
Yeah.
because it could just be a truck that's testing for
For
Australia
other
here.
reasons.
But I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they're actually thinking about bringing it to America.
Well, thank you.
Ciao.